This month in Matt. 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 Hello, welcome to This Month in Matt. I'm your host, Matt Riggs. I've been a podcaster since around 2009, 2010, and I feel as though every podcast I've ever recorded, or I've ever been on, or I've ever listened to, has led me up to this moment where I finally have the podcast that everyone has always been clamoring for, This Month in Matt. What will This Month in Matt be? Well, it's basically a collection. I'm just gonna leave that in. I'm not gonna fix it. It's basically a collection of all the things that I've done this month. Be it Twitter, be it live performance, be it a creative idea I had, be it ask my friend Kevin Vandevoorde to write something each month that I will read in a segment called MPR, Matt Public Radio. You'll hear about that later. You've got some time. Maybe it's interview someone named Matt. We have a special guest named Mat Alano Martin. Does he spell it with 2 T's? He does not. Should he? Yes. That's basically what This Month in Matt is. It's going to come out the last day of every month. I'm very excited about putting that episode out on the 31st of December. I'm sure it will get a lot of listens. So enjoy basically the hodgepodge that I put together. This might be too private, but I just popped a zit near my groin area while I was talking. That's how glamorous podcasts are. Speaking of podcasts, listen to this one. Please take this time to join Matt while he reads his tweets to his girlfriend. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, here we go. First tweet of the month, 9/2/15. I just used a generic brand of bug spray. It's called On. All right,
yeah.
Very good. That one has a picture, so I can't really do that one.
Yeah, be tricky.
9/4. I skip like pictures, or I guess I could show them to you, but people at home couldn't see. I skip pictures, and I skip I sent at Jeff Steinbrenner, for real about the hernia. I know you ate that baby. Like, that's gonna make no sense because you don't know the first.
I think that's expected.
I mean, I guess
you're gonna skip those.
I didn't skip it that time, but I will from now on.
So you just gave an example of things that you're not going to do.
Sure, like people can't see this picture, but it's of a stop sign. It says lazy ass stop sign because it's on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a pretty good tweet, but you can't see the picture, so it makes no sense in a podcast.
Maybe all this will inspire people to go on your page more often and look at these pictures that we discuss.
What do you think I'm doing this for? I didn't want to be that blunt, but of course I'm just trying to get more people to follow me on Twitter.
Ruined it. I'm sorry.
At Matt Riggs.
Forget I said that.
Don't worry about it. Follow me. All right. September 4th, 2015. I've never once forgot about Dre.
Nice.
All right. Very good. Same day, probably within minutes of each other. I seem to go in clusters. I'm not going to lie to you. Whoever named the mechanical pencil was very literal. Okay.
Ah, that is true.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Here we go. See, sometimes these tweets I think need to be read because sometimes you're not going to pick it up in. I can't do italics. I can't. That's.
Yeah.
This one, for instance, I think was better. No, this one actually might have been better to be reading it, except for to hear it. All right. If someone told you Ben folds 5 towels, would you only expect there to be 3 towels? Do you not get it?
Not yet.
The Ben folds 5? There's only 3 members of the Ben folds 5.
Oh, there it is.
So maybe that's okay.
There it is.
It's not your. All right, here we go. Oh, I thought you were your grandmother. It's a quote from my grandpa to me while walking naked through a hallway.
I know that is true.
That is true. Okay, very good. All right. Do you? This was sorry. I didn't. These are still all on 9/4. All right. Do you think Joseph ever told Mary that Jesus is the reason for the queasin during her morning sickness? I said to you this earlier today, but I rearranged it. I think it was poorly written.
Sure.
I think it's better as, do you think Joseph ever told Mary during her morning sickness that Jesus is the reason for the queasing? I think that's funnier.
I like that you rearranged how you delivered that.
Edited it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't do it now. It's already in.
Yeah.
All right, we skip a couple days. I wasn't on Twitter for a couple days.
Clusters.
What's up?
Clusters.
A lot of clusters. September 8th. How do you get involved in FanDuel? Do you have to get slapped with receiver's gloves?
I don't know
All right.
the topic, so.
FanDuel is a game. It's like an app where that you do like, it's basically fantasy football.
Okay.
So, but the joke is like a duel. Like to get in
Oh.
a duel, you get slapped with gloves, and receivers wear gloves.
I'm not the ideal audience for that tweet, I guess.
That's fine. Just so you know, and I'm not, because I told you to hold the microphone that way, I'm hearing your nose breath. So,
I feel like you could have told me that a little
no, but I
sooner.
just heard it, so that's
Okay.
why I'm not trying to make you feel self-conscious. There's a whole bunch of me and Shane going live on Meerkat. That's not going to really translate to this. Okay, 9/12, 15. So, modern country music is 90s pop with a fiddle? That's not really a joke. That's just a statement.
Just a statement.
All right,
We
here
had that conversation.
we did. All right, now 3 days ago, I'm going to read my, these are debate tweets, so they may or may not still make sense.
Okay. Is this pre or post debate? Or
During, I came in during as you'll notice with the first tweet.
Sure.
Watching the Republican JV, I'm going to just say debate, even though it was hashtag either GOP debate or CNN debate.
Okay.
Watching the Republican JV debate, do they know they have no chance? It's the debate before the debate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I called it the JV debate.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Clever.
Thank you very much. Man, I didn't know how much gays have been persecuting Christians. Those 2 months must have been rough. They're just talking about how Christians don't have liberty. It's like, you've been shitty for two evers, like
Two
forever. And now like 2 months have rolled by and you're the most, whatever.
Can't take it. It's too much.
They're horrible. All right, here we go. I wish Rick Santorum was running in a punch me in the face contest. I would vote for him.
There you go.
Not a fan of that man. All right, here we go. So Republican debates are just the greatest hits of the worst ideas. So he just kept saying the same thing over and over.
A lot of truth bombs in this cluster of tweets.
This one's
Eric's.
more comedy. I think I told you this in real life. I want to hear a candidate say, on my first day in office, I would sharpen pencils and ask where the bathroom is. I think it's really fun. All right. Now, the debate, as you saw part of the second half, they were
Sure.
at the Reagan Library
Mhm.
with that playing in the background.
I'm aware.
Must suck to be that close to Air Force One with no shot at riding in it. Okay, I got some laps. I don't know if you didn't see this part, but Rick Santorum he got a little sweaty. So I wrote, I'm reconsidering my position on Rick's sweaty lips Santorum. Then I wrote, the Muslims are coming, the Muslims are coming, the Muslims are coming. Lindsey Graham, because he kept saying that. Rick Santorum seems to think people know he did what he did years ago. All I know is I'm glad he wiped his face, because again, he's very sweaty. Something makes me think these guys don't have a lot of friends.
Aww.
Sicario is a dumb name for a movie, just because it was one of the commercials during the debates. Looks like Santorum is working on a mullet. It did. It looked like it was. Does the phrase "Thank you, Senator" mean keep talking? Because the guy just kept saying "Thank you," like trying to shut them up.
Right.
And
Well, I'm not done.
yeah. This one's more truth. Our military is smaller because of technology. Okay. If I played MFK, Marry, Fuck, Kill with these 11 candidates, I would just murder, suicide all 12 of us. I hated those people. I'm pledging my vote to any candidate who references Kim Davis. Hashtag unlikely. Hashtag but maybe. That didn't go over as well as I hoped. These intros are more awkward than the same segment on Jeopardy. Does that make sense?
I see. I mean, the podiums are
It's a podium, and then they always do those Jeopardy intros.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the game that are usually weird. All right. Some of these aren't going to make sense. Like, ooh, no love on the water joke. Marco Rubio tried to make a joke about how he knew California didn't have any water, so he brought his own. It was dumb. Hi, I'm Ben Carson. I used to cut children. Because he's like, hi, I'm Ben Carson. I'm a child neurosurgeon or whatever. So I was like, I just boiled it down to that. I wrote, Jeb. I wrote, when they're doing all the intros and they got to the lady. I forget her name. She's probably going to be our president, but I forget it. Carly Fiorini. And she just sat there staring. Like, she didn't know it was her turn, so she just stared into the camera.
That's great.
Chris Christie, when it was his turn, he was like, you know what? I'd like for you to take the camera off of me and put it on the audience. And then, like, the thing. And I wrote, I think CNN was happy to take the camera off Chris Christie. He's an ugly man.
He's lost some weight.
He has, but doesn't mean he's attractive. I can tell that we are going to be friends. It's a quote from White Stripes lyric and Donald Trump foreign policy, because he just kept saying that. Like, I'm going to be friends with. Okay, fine.
Got it.
Ted Cruz is a snake oil salesman / end time preacher. Don't care for him. Governor Kasich looks like an old Nick Swardson. Carly Fiorina has the same speech pattern as Rod Sterling. You were there for that, right?
I was there.
It was very similar to that.
It was a weird moment.
I like to imagine that any intense racially charged monologue in a movie was improvised. That was from our real life.
Yeah.
Just moments ago.
You just did that moments ago.
And then, as always, I like to end it with my pinned tweet. This is from January, but
oldie but goodie.
It's an oldie but goodie. It's the tweet that I've chosen to be defined by.
Oh.
All right, here we go.
It's heavy.
January 17th. Coming off a loss of my father. You laugh at that?
I'm I'm not laughing at the loss.
Just the way I said it? Because I'm funny?
It's because you're so funny.
Thank you very much. I grew up more of a Heathcliff, but live my life as more of a Garfield pace.
Very nice.
Are you just laughing because you didn't want the show to end without you laughing?
No, I'm laughing because it's quality writing.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, doing this, I feel a lot less bad about not keeping up with your Twitter.
I would like.
It's better that I don't read it now.
Yes, I would like for this to be a constant thing,
Sure.
a monthly thing. Not constant because that'd be weird, but
Be a little rough.
so you should unfollow me on Twitter, or at least block me. I still need the numbers, so
I don't really go
don't
on Twitter
unfollow me.
anymore.
But okay, then stop it, or keep it up. Keep it up.
Deal.
Do you have any plugs?
No.
You don't want people to come see at your job or anything like that?
I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to tell people to come.
Also, I don't think legally they're allowed to come anyway
Nope.
for what you do.
Nope.
So, yeah. You'll do this again next month?
Sure.
All right. Did you have fun on the microphone?
I did.
Is this your first time on a podcast?
No.
You were also on another podcast that I did.
Yes.
Have you been on a podcast that was not me related?
I have not.
Do you think you ever will?
I don't know.
What if there's like an education podcast? I'm not going to say where you work, but you're in education. What if someone wanted to be do an education podcast, but like a fun one that also involved Alan Stone and the White Stripes? See how I'm throwing in your likes there?
I feel like I would maybe be the only person that could participate in
Because of the
like
last
that.
two parts?
Yeah. It's a little too specific.
Do you want some recognition? I have the technology. We could start an education podcast if you want.
Nah, I'm good.
Sure.
I like the quiet when it
I'm
comes
just
home.
trying to read. Well, that's a valid point. That's why I don't talk the entire time. I'm just trying to reach more people. If I can do it via an education podcast or what else do you want to talk about?
I respect that.
If you ever have an idea for a podcast, I'm more than happy to be a part of it.
Sounds good.
All right. How about next month we do this again?
I would love to.
And end also with more just not like we could have ended a while ago.
A while ago, yeah.
Yeah, but we're not. We're still talking. Like we're going to keep talking once I hit this stop button.
Yeah, that's true.
And this might get edited out or it might not. You don't think it's going to? It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So
they can see our natural charm together.
Right? So you got to end on something because like the interview, I don't know if I've played it yet, but the interview, like it ends on like a funny little tag.
Okay.
So you have to say something funny to end on.
You know I do so well when I put on the spot.
I know. That's why you have to do this.
That's why you should have told me sooner.
No, because it wouldn't have worked that way.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you have to end. This is going to keep going. We're at 12 minutes right now. So you got to say something funny.
Garlic breath.
Can you try something a little funnier than garlic breath? Just like real quick. I like the guest to get the final laugh.
Okay. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally lost here, buddy.
I'm going to count to 3, and you just say whatever's in your head.
The first, 2 words that come in my...
Well, it doesn't have to be like a random, just whatever. All right? I'm going to count to 3 from 1.
God.
1, 2, 3.
Beauty.
Matt has fun with audio.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can't always go. When you've got worries, all the noise and the hurry seems to help, I know. Just listen to the music of the traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalk where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? The lights are much brighter there. You can't forget all your troubles, forget all your cares, so don't. Things will be great when you're no finer place for sure. Everything's waiting for you.
Matt on Matt, a continuous series where Matt interviews other people with his first name. This month's guest is comedian, host of Strangers on the Road podcast, and co-creator of the Limestone Comedy Festival, Matt Alano Martin.
Hello.
Hello, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Hello, nice to talk to you.
I'm happy to be talked to.
Just so you know, I am currently recording for legal purposes. If they tell me that when I call Comcast, I feel as though I should tell you that.
Okay, are you going to lower my bill? Is that why you're calling me today?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get you into the triple play. I know you probably have no need for a home phone, but we're really trying to still push it.
Can you tell me about some of the benefits of having a home phone?
Well, first of all, what if the cell tower gets knocked down by a drunk driver? I think that's obviously the number one reason right there. Number two, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I never thought about that. You bring up some good points.
I believe, honestly, the number one reason that they give people is in case of emergency. If you dial 911 on your home phone, it's more accurate than if you dial on your cell phone.
Oh, I guess that's true. I guess if you're in if everyone is trying to call 911 all at once, then the cell tower can go down. And the exact same thing happens when too many people call at once with a landline.
Well, most people have emergencies when other people are drunk driving. That's just common sense, Matt. I don't feel as though I should be the one to tell you that. That's just basic.
Okay. Well, so maybe I just wanted to hear your specific take on it.
Okay.
I wanted to hear the poetry that you had for me on this particular situation.
I'm not going to give you a hard sell yet on the triple play, but by the end of this, I'm hoping to get you at least into another 2-year contract.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see if you can work me up into the triple play.
I think it's a value. I mean, it's $99 a month. I mean, of course, that's for you get 7 channels, and those are just over the air channels. But you just add on. We're trying a new a la carte thing.
That's good.
Actually, if they did do a la carte, I think it would be so much better. If I could just go in and pick the actual channels I wanted instead of having a whole bunch of crap that I'm never going to watch. I
feel like not to get serious for a second, but I feel like they actually were moving towards that at one point, and then there was some bullshit reason why they wouldn't do it. And it had to do with money. They couldn't get enough money that way or something,
I think that makes...
By not enough, it's all the money.
But weirdly, the individual stations are kind of doing their own thing. I mean, HBO Now or whatever. But then you also have you have FXX now, where you can, as long as you have a cable service, you can just get all of the FXX stuff on your computer or whatever. So I don't see what.
That's the difference. There is you have to same thing HBO Go. Although you can just buy a straight up Go account now, right?
Yeah, I think they call it HBO Now.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll change things.
I think that's the future.
What 5 channels will be on your a la carte?
Oh, well, I weirdly, as much as I don't watch a lot of sports, I love sports talk. So, like, I watch more ESPN than I do actual sports. So I think I would have to have, like, ESPN. I've been a real kick lately of just watching ESPN radio shows on television.
Okay. Yeah, like little teleplays of the radio program.
Kind of.
That they
like,
recreate on television.
But no, it's just them.
Like do a dramatic reenactment?
No, it's just them sitting there doing it's like as if someone was filming me right now talking to you and someone would be watching it. Yeah, I don't.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like a vlog.
Kind of. It's very similar to a vlog. It's just a radio show where some people are like, if we put up cameras, I bet people will watch this. And they do. I'm one of those people.
Well, is it just because you don't own a radio?
No, I own it.
Is that
no.
the only way you can get your radio?
I don't know. I kind of like taking different mediums onto different stuff. Like this podcast, I'm only putting out on YouTube.
Oh, okay, good. And so what are the images that are going to be shown? Is it just going to be like the cable company logo the entire
It's
time?
just Comcast. Yeah, I'm really trying to.
Showing.
Well, there's a promo code.
Number to call.
I have a promo code.
Mm-hmm. What is that?
Oh, it's just Matt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't do a show called This Month and Matt without just a promo code Matt. Comcast.com/Matt.
Can I just say how brave it is? I think that you're jumping in and you're doing a monthly podcast. That's a huge commitment.
Mm-hmm.
One a month. You're gonna I'm gonna get one out a month.
One, hopefully.
And I mean, hopefully did you have to quit your day job for that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you're gonna have to open up some time.
Yeah,
right?
I'm calling you from a payphone because I don't have a home anymore. Yeah.
Sure. Because you're committed to your art.
To be fair, I also do a weekly podcast called Bad News, Good Timing.
Okay.
And I have all these other dangling threads of. I have like 7 other podcasts that if I just woke up one day and was like, you know what, I kind of want to do that podcast today, I could just do it. So I thought, why not have another one?
For every mood.
Yes.
So you have a podcast for every mood.
Exactly. However I wake up that day, I have a podcast for every day of the week. That's what I do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's
all right.
You know how, but you're a podcaster. You do a podcast.
Yeah, I do.
Do you ever just get down on it? Like as much fun as it is to record it, but then it's just I don't want to take the time to edit this or even upload it to a server or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's a fair amount of work. I mean, there's the thing. Even if it's just you talking with your buddies or whatever, there is a certain element of it that is a bit of work.
Mm-hmm.
I take breaks. I'm actually on a hiatus from my podcast right now. We did the 100th episode.
Nice.
And so I decided to go ahead and we started with the 100th episode. Did I not mention that?
You didn't say that. That's
100.
genius, to be honest.
It's a countdown podcast. So we're counting backwards. No, we just did the 100th episode, and so I felt like it was a good time to take a little bit of a hiatus. And what I should be doing is still recording some of them, still doing some interviews, still doing some episodes, and getting them in the can so that I can then kind of roll out and be less stressed out when I bring it back. But I haven't been doing any of that.
Do you find?
So I'm.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna. Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say so. That sort of same instinct of I don't know, that idea of I need to take a little break from this has been a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be.
The one advantage, I say I have a weekly podcast, we've put out 2 this summer, is because the co-host and I, we both work basically a seasonal job. So everyone that listens knows that this is our busy time. So at least we get that excuse of oh, that's why they've not put out a podcast. They're both, working, but then come wintertime when they have nothing to do, they'll just constantly be in our ears. So that's an advantage if you want to start doing, I can get you a job driving a trolley if you want to take that excuse.
Oh, do you have to have a CDL license? Or
at least a Class C, plus a passenger endorsement. But they'll train you how. So if you just move to Chicago, I can get you a job. You'll earn me $50. So again, it's all about promo code Matt at chicagotrolley.com.
Sure.
What was I gonna, oh,
I like it.
yeah. Do you find, and I say this because I wanted to contact you yesterday about doing this podcast, but it's like, I don't want to bother him. Do you find it bothersome to ask people to do your podcast?
It depends on his person. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a mixed bag because, comedians particularly get, everyone has a podcast. Everyone goes on a podcast. I think the key is to try to find something unique about it, or I don't know. I guess it varies from person to person. Like, Jimmy Pardo is in Bloomington this week, and I kind of know Jimmy like a little bit through Limestone and stuff, but I definitely know him well enough that I could be like, hey, do you want to do my podcast? Because I would feel kind of a schmuck, asking him to do that. And he's a master podcaster. Obviously, his podcast is one of the original ones, and it's great. But then also, like someone else like that's selling who I have more of a relationship with, I have no qualms asking her, or
Plus
like
she's
so
nice.
I'll ask other people. Yeah, she's nice, and Jimmy's not. Basically, is what you're trying to say. Your words, Matt Ray's words.
Not my words.
There.
He's got a wall up, but I think down deep from watching probably 500 episodes of his podcast. I mean watching. At one point in time, I said Never Not Funny was my favorite TV show because, again, it's me watching people record a podcast. It's no different than me watching ESPN radio. But I think, and this is I don't know why I've decided to put this out there, but I will. I think when he's in his own element, he's very comfortable. Sometimes when I've heard him on other people's podcasts, I don't think he's as comfortable because he's not in charge. So, but he's a very nice man. Every interaction. Actually, I can tell this story because of you. You put on the Limestone Comedy Festival with your buddy and Jared from the Comedy Attic. And I was very lucky enough to be a part of it, and I appreciate it a good deal. And both Jimmy Pardo and the whole Never Not Funny crew were there, and I awkwardly went up to them in the lobby because I had to, because I love the podcast, and I was very nervous, and it was weird. And then hours later, all his show's over. He's talking with Pat Francis and someone else outside by an elevator. I walk by, and Jimmy Pardo's like, hey, what's up, Matt? And it blew my mind, and it made my life. So to me, I would never say a bad word about the man. Yeah. Okay,
that's enough covering your ass. I feel like you've gone out of your way to
I also
do that.
Raised money for Smile Train. I raised money for the Smile Train through Never Not Funny. So I feel as though my ass is very covered.
No, I'm just kidding, obviously. And Jimmy is a fantastic human being. He probably would be fine if I asked him, but I don't quite have that comfort level. I know what you mean about sort of the difference of being in his own element where he's the master of his domain versus being a guest. But I feel like I have heard him do, Marin does this too. Like I did have Marin on my podcast, and I kind of suspected he would do this. The first 5 to 6 minutes of the podcast is him busting my balls. Mm-hmm. It wasn't what I thought he was going to bust my balls about. He found something different. And I understood that was Mark getting comfortable.
Okay.
Like sort of being like the, kind of like the grumpy, angry, kind of like he was kind of alpha dogging me a little bit.
Yeah.
And I recognized that. I just kind of let him do it. And then we had a great conversation. And then like throughout the rest of the podcast, I kind of just got him back.
Okay.
Just like kind of slipped in things from his original sort of busting my balls thing and sort of dismantled it a little bit. And so it was, but I had to kind of let him do that to get comfortable, I feel like.
It's almost like watching a dog circle around where it's about to fall asleep. Yes.
I don't follow that analogy at all, but okay.
Don't they do that? I feel like dogs, like you'll see them, like they kind of like walk around in a circle, and then they decide that's where they're gonna like lay down. Is that not a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
All right,
but I don't think that has anything to do with them feeling more comfortable.
I think you're right.
I don't know.
I think you're correct. I just wanted to make an analogy, and I failed, so it's fine. The reason I bring up this whole thing about your podcast is because you slept on my couch, and you didn't interview me, and I'm very upset about it.
I don't think I barely saw you.
You did. I just wanted to do some gotcha journalism for no reason whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that you were not? You actually didn't escape the tower in 9/11? Is that true, Matt Riggs? Do you want to do some apologizing now too?
I'm not going to apologize about 9/11. I was very happy that day. I took apart Kittyland at Indiana Beach, and was very sad for some people in New York, and bought a nice Ben Folds album. That was my lovely day. To me, 9/11's pretty good.
I just want to salute you for saying that out loud on a recording. You're probably gonna edit it out.
No, I'm not. I'm very forward. I did a show on 9/10, and I was riffing about how I'd decorated the house for 9/11 Eve, and I am more than willing to joke about it, even though I'm also the same guy that watches those documentaries, and I feel bad for everyone. Like, if I went to the actual memorial, it would be a very touching, sad thing for me. But also, I think 9/11 is something that I deal with through comedy, not through like somberness.
Okay. Did you get the reference I was making, though? Do you know about the thing about Steve Rusnowski or whatever?
Oh, yes. I just saw that today.
Yeah.
He lied about it. Yeah. Have you seen that document?
He didn't. He did a bit about it.
Oh, so it was okay.
Yeah, he talks about it in a bit, and then everybody made him apologize and made him admit that he wasn't actually in the tower.
Oh, I hate people that watch comedy.
Yeah. So it's more of that. It's more of the idea of it's that comedy, like the comedy police of content police, to like the nth degree. So, yeah.
I hate you, comedy police. Matt, I got to nothing that I wanted to talk about, but I have to do this because this is a running segment on these interviews. It's some quick fire questions about the name Matt. Because, again, I'm doing a podcast called This Month in Matt. I'm only interviewing people named Matt. So why not?
Who are some of the other Matts that you've had?
So far, it's just you, baby, but I've had some ideas of other people. You're number one on the list because of the Alano part of your name. You came up first.
There you go, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So next will be Matt Bronger.
I would love to get Matt Bronger. I don't know these people. I'm not Johnny Insider like you are. I'm going to have to work my ass off through some texting. Or if I have to talk to an agent, I know for a fact I'm not going to get anyone. But
no, you never ask the agent for this podcast.
No, you go straight to
them. On the podcast. You go straight to them because the agent's going to always say no.
Yeah. So
first they're going to say, well, what are your numbers like? And then they're going to say no.
And I'll be like, 6 people? Thank you, by the way, thank your agent for allowing you to do this. I appreciate that a good deal.
Yeah, my agent's cool. My agent, yeah.
All right, here's the rapid questions, and feel free, the answers don't have to be rapid. But they're rapid questions. I'm going to try to read them as fast as I can. All right.
Okay.
Matt or Matthew? Matt or Matthew? Which one do you like to go by?
Depends on the situation.
Ooh, what situation do you like to be Matt? Professionally, or you Matt? You're Matt, right?
Most of the situations, I'm Matt, and also it's Matt with one T.
Uh-huh.
But I don't.
I'm not going to hold that against
Matthew.
you.
I like it when my mom calls me Matthew, which isn't all the time, but I like it. And Stuart Huff calls me Matthew, which I like.
Very good.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're the right person, you can get away with calling me Matthew.
Am I the right person, or should I stick with Matt?
I feel like we're more peers, so I think Matt is probably more appropriate.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you calling me a peer.
Yeah.
How has the name Matt been? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
How has the name Matt been helpful in your life?
Well, how's it been helpful? Gosh, I don't know.
All right, very good.
I guess it gives me a little. Well, no, I guess it gives me a little piece of small talk. In the fact that I can say that I'm named Matt because my mom named me Matthew after the first book of the New Testament.
Of the Bible.
Yeah, so, that I guess was helpful to, get me into some Christian girls' pants.
Oh, very good. Those are good pants to be in.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
Now, how has the name Matt hurt you?
Probably will listen. It's got me into some Christian girls' pants a few times. So
they're a little crazy.
Blessing and curse, Matt Riggs.
It is. It is a blessing and a curse. This one's a good one. Why is Matt such an awesome name?
It's one consonant.
Mm-hmm.
It's pop. It rhymes with a lot of things.
Sometimes the bad things. Like they used to call me Fat Pigs as a kid instead of Matt Riggs.
Oh.
And my joke is I prove them right. Like that's the joke that I
hey
now.
These were pretty clever kids. These are good. These kids go on to write for 30 Rock?
They sadly did not. I did find out, though, recently that all my family's life, like my aunt, when they were kids, they used to get called pigs as well. So apparently, where I grew up, pigs was just synonymous for Riggs. It was just the saddest thing I've ever said.
Yeah. Have you guys ever thought about changing the name for future generations?
I love Riggs. I think Riggs is fantastic. I don't prefer it when people call me Riggs, but if they do, I'm not upset by it. But this is not about Riggs. That's another monthly podcast I do called This Month in Riggs. This is This Month in Matt.
I do have one question. You can edit this out, right? You have the ability to edit.
I have the ability to edit. So far, I don't think anything needs to be edited. But if you have a genuine thing that needs to be edited, I will edit it out.
No, for time-wise, I just don't want to be too rambling. But I do have a question for you.
Okay.
So when the Lethal Weapon series came out, with Murdoch and Riggs, was that an awesome thing for you?
See, I was too young to watch it. Plus, we went to a church where you weren't allowed to see movies in the theater if you were a part of the choir or all this nonsense. So, I never really got to see the movies until the fourth one.
Now, was that all movies or just movies with a black co-star?
It was mostly just black related people. No, it was. That's not true. The one movie series that we went to see because my dad was like, "Screw it, I don't care." We went to see every Star Trek movie in the theater, and they had black people in that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But no, it was. I never saw it, but I would get the lines said to me a good deal and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, all right, I got you." Okay, so, I don't get the reference, but it happens.
Yeah. So. Do you think that your dad was like, screw it, I'm going to go see Star Trek anyway, is because he kind of knew deep down that religion is dumb and science is the truth?
I know for a fact that that's not the case because years later he then became a minister, and at the time of his death, which it's always sad to bring up a dead dad, he was a minister of a church. So I'm pretty sure that was not his feelings.
Okay. Deep down, consciously.
No, I don't.
I'm not gonna back down because of the dead dad thing.
I appreciate that. I appreciate anyone that takes dead dad and goes with it and runs with it. I love.
Yeah. We all have a dead dad, Matt. It doesn't make you special.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I would just say go to his Facebook page. Anyone out there, feel free to look for Mark Riggs. I'm still a friend of a dead father, and you can base. Nice. I didn't defriend him, so that's good.
Yeah, that's like you were like, oh, well, this is an unnecessary page. I could kind of get rid of this.
I mean, I stopped following him on Twitter, so my numbers were lower, but I didn't.
Yeah. so he had the.
I'm not going to follow an urn on Twitter. That is a rule that I have.
I think we've just come up with the new mock Twitter account.
Just your dead dad in an urn, still judging you from the grave. This is very fun.
I'll take it if you don't want it. I'll take it.
You can have it. You can be like Mike Burns in the Angry Dad or whatever, and get a lot of money. What was I going to say? Oh, but if you go to his Facebook page, it's very much just memes of religion. If he was alive now with this Republican candidate, all this stuff, I would have had to stop following him. I just couldn't stand all of those Christian memes and all that stuff. So, no, I'm pretty sure he still held the faith on through his demise. That's not a good word. He died. Okay. He didn't die in a car accident or whatever. Last question, and I got to get you out of here because I told you it would take 15 minutes, and it's taken longer.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
We were laughing and having fun. This one, you Bloomington, Indiana, we have that in common. And this one, I had a roommate that did this who had the name Matt as well, and I'm just curious if you ever considered going by the name Thew.
No. I've never considered that. No.
Oh, I hated the day he's like, yeah, I'm going to go by Thew now. And we all just busted his balls so bad because I guess Topher. Some people go by Topher. That's the last part of Christopher. So
yeah. No. Just following my name with one T is already kind of pretentious.
I agree.
And it's basically it's leftover high school pretentiousness from. It was like a nickname that a coworker gave me because he thought my name. The nickname he gave me was Matthias.
Okay. And
that was way cooler than Matt, which is a very common white guy name and everything. Mm-hmm. And then the abbreviation of that is just MAT. So then that was some serious 11th grade pretentiousness that just stuck. But no, I did meet a guy one time who went by Schwa, which is the second half of Joshua.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was he just an upside down E, like the schwa symbol? Was it like that sort of thing?
No, he spelled it he spelled it SHWA, so that you could still pronounce it correctly, I guess.
That's hard. That's
yeah.
way worse than Topher and Few, I think. No offense, Shaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Schwa.
Schwa. You got to put the W in there. Yeah. Well, he was a pretentious singer-songwriter guy that I met one time. So
that's true.
So there you go.
Yeah. I will say that spelling it M-A-T probably does, like, people do look at it, and even if they do, like me, hate it, they might at least see it and sort of be like, oh, that's different.
Well, I think the benefit of it just being MAT is I can always tell myself, at least I'm not a fat pig,
Oh.
So we'll talk about how much hating is going on with our names.
Matt, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
No, it's good to catch up, man. We haven't talked to each other in a long time, and now I remember why.
Now for a segment from NPR, Matt Public Radio. One of my favorite things about TV is living vicariously through the characters. Having adventures in space with a cast of Firefly, fending off a zombie horde on The Walking Dead, and fulfilling my lifelong dream of getting raped by a tennis racket on Law & Order SVU. TV time is time for me to get away from the pressures of fatherhood, relax, and live for 45 minutes as a sex criminal who gets shot by a cop. That's TV. That's America. And as a fun little exercise when I'm in traffic, or on a conference call, or waiting for my son to take a shit on the plastic toilet, I like to rank TV characters whom I would switch places with. Like, who's the number one fantasy pick for TV characters you would want to be? For me, that's easy. It's Sam Malone, and it's not even close. Hang out in a bar with lovable losers, bang 90% of the women in Boston, and have Kirstie Alley shake her big hot ass at you all day. Come on. But who's the worst? Who's the one you'd never want to be? This one? Startlingly easy too. You might think it's one of several poor bastards on Game of Thrones, and yes, Ned Stark has it bad and all, but nobody has it worse than Dave Seville, the guy who adopted the Chipmunks. Think about it. The Chipmunks make a lot of money, but you wouldn't trade places with that guy. No one would. Take away how the Chipmunks sound. Take that shit right off the table, because you get used to that shit. 3 days after their fucking movie was released on my son's Netflix account, I got past it. It's worse than the voices. Take a trip with me. You're a musician, 30-something, maybe a pretty decent one, but not quite good enough to make the majors, I mean, technically sound, talented, but the demo's all wrong. You sound like the Talking Heads, but you look like Kenny G. You dress like Kenny G. Yeah, you might get laid a little bit, but it's with the girls who missed their shot at Kenny G. Then, what? I don't know. Your freakish, giant, sapient chipmunk friend gets killed by some people just doing the right thing. And the next thing you know, boom! You've got 3 fucked up, giant chipmunk kids eating your oatmeal, using your America Online, breaking your VCR. Oh, and hey, by the way, Dave, they sell more albums than you. A lot more. And you have to produce their saccharine boy band shit now. This is not Stop Making Sense. This is One Direction castrated. And you're getting none of that fucking money. $0. Oh, Papa Freak Chipmunk saw to that. You're pulling down $60,000 a year tops. You're laying down the tracks, spending tireless hours sound editing, making sure these little shits show up to their concert on time, which they never fucking do. And what? You finally get Alvin to sleep and Theodore to stop wetting the bed. All you have energy to do is get drunk on Bartles and James while crying over your keyboard. Your life, Dave? It's garbage juice. That's not even touching the parenting. You're thinking Alvin's the trouble spot, right? Nah, it's not Alvin. Alvin's gonna be fine. When he hits puberty, he's gonna get into drugs for a little bit. He's gonna get a few trashy bitches pregnant with his half-chip mulatto kids. But by his mid-30s, he'll clean up his shit, and sell cars for a living, maybe run a sports book with the neighborhood dads. He'll drink a little too much, but he'll make enough scratch to own a swimming pool. Alvin's gonna be okay. Theodore. Nah, he's a dumb fat fuck. But he's a good kid. He cares about other people. He'll work in a grocery store, manage the meat department until he drops dead in a court area 38. Hey, you sent him to fat camp. You did your best. No, it's Simon. Simon's the one that keeps you up at night. Because when they snuck into the haunted theme park at night and Frankenstein got a hold of their roller coaster car in Dragonland, Simon was able to calculate the exact physics of the extra weight in 4 seconds. He knew the impact of the extra speed. He knew the trajectory. He knew they were screwed. So if he could do that, why the fuck does he allow Alvin into the haunted theme park in the first place? He's like Good Will Hunting if Robin Williams never shows up. A lifetime of fucking around in batting cages with Chucky while he could be building weapons that could kill a lot of people. Can you imagine being that kid's dad? How are you not always screaming at him? He's some kind of quantum genius, but he follows Alvin into the haunted theme park. Again. He helped Alvin steal the family minivan. Again. He helped Alvin start up his own child porn site. Again. Wait. Maybe that was SVU. Matt Riggs performs live at Chicago Underground Comedy.
But I need some help. Is there anyone that would be willing to volunteer?
Yeah, I
would. What's your name?
My name is Badger.
All right, Ben. Are you from Michigan?
Yeah, dude.
All right, very good. Badger, do you by any chance have a randomizer on your phone?
I just so happen to have one right here.
Oh, very good. It's like we worked it out. I've got a list of 20 jokes here on my phone, and I'm just going to randomize it and just tell the jokes. That's the way I'm going to do it. Badger, please hit me up with the first one.
Number 6.
Number 6. Oh, guys. I gave up soda. Anybody ever give up soda? Try to give up soda?
Yeah.
It's not that the sugary beverage is hard. It's the caffeine. The caffeine is the hardest part. And anyone ever give up caffeine? Yeah? Was it hard for you, Lino, guy that I know in the audience?
Rough.
Excellent. It was rough for me too. I knew it was going to be bad, so I took a page out of that movie Train Spotting, and I got all my favorite stuff, and I just nailed myself in my bedroom for like a week. It was horrible. By like day 7, I look up, and at one point in time, the Coca-Cola polar bear is just walking across the ceiling, and he turns his head around, and he goes, meow, which I thought was weird because it was a bear, right? So I got so scared, I broke out of there, and I just blew the first guy that I saw on the street that I thought was Dr. Pepper. I just blew him. It was not him. It was actually a guy named Errol Pibb. His name was Errol Pibb. Probably should have said Earl. That's a name. Badger, please give me... Actually, can we, everybody chant, touch that screen? That's what I would like to happen in between. All right, maybe all at the same time. Just once. We don't need to be heroes. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You gotta do it, Badger.
Number 10.
Number 10. Very good. Number 10. Guys, I've got a job. I drive downtown. You guys ever seen those trolleys driving downtown? Oh, I love it. I get to give people cool tours, but the worst part of the job is I have to do pub crawls. You guys ever done a pub crawl? Yeah, you're horrible. You're shitty people that start out as fun and then you become drunk 6-year-olds by the end. Whatever. One time on a pub crawl, I heard a girl whisper to her friend, and the reason why I heard it is because drunk whispering is the same as normal people talking. I heard her go, "Hey, the driver was like Jonah Hill." Which is not true, and if it was, I feel bad for both of us. But that is not the weirdest celebrity lookalike I've ever gotten. The weirdest one, I used to work at Potbelly Sandwiches, because my resume is like off the charts, right? I used to work at Bob Billy, and we used to do this thing because it takes like a minute for the sandwiches to go through the oven. We would do this thing called the question of the day, where we'd ask people random questions. And one day the question was, what celebrity do you think you look like? And this lady got real scared. She's like, I don't know who I look like, but I know who he looks like, and pointed at me. I got so excited. I was like, who do I look like? And she said, Forrest Whitaker. To which I responded, is there a second Forrest Whitaker? Like, this was 2008. Like, I was a little skinnier and black, so there's like a chance that I've been. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Number 14.
Number 14. It's a real weird thing when your dad dies. Strange. It's not always strange for you, but you have to like start telling other people about it. So like after a while, I tried to like make it about something that they knew, so they would like it'd be easier for them to get it. Like I called my friend Amy, and I was like, she's a big White Sox fan. I was like, hey Amy, do you remember my dad? And she's like, yeah. And I said, he gone. I Hulk Harrelson to my father's death. Over the phone. Benjamin? Is he gonna fool me?
Number 14.
Number 14. It is a real hard thing when your dad dies. Like, when you tell people about it, like after that, you feel weird. So like, you have to start personalizing it. So like, I called up my friend Amy. She's a real big White Sox fan, and I was like, hey Amy, do you remember my dad? And she's like, yeah. And I said, he gone. I Hawk Harrelson to my dad's death. All right, Badger, please. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3. Game. I figured my own game.
Number 20.
Number 20. I don't know if you know this about me. You probably don't because you just told me. But I was senior class president. And yeah, sure, clap it up. I was senior class president, and if I had to define my presidency, I would call it reluctant. And the reason why is because I was actually voted senior class treasurer, and only after 2 assassinations did I have to take the office. But luckily, I was the first one to be like, Corey, calm the fuck down. We'll call the prom after you. I don't. Okay. Not a good one.
Number 13.
Oh, that was so close. That would have been real bad. Number 13. Guys, do you like Bob Seger? Anybody here? Yeah, right. All right, cool. I love Bob Seger. I saw him at the United Center in December. He's awesome. I have some LPs at my house. And if you see any of Bob Seger's album from the 70s, it's basically just a glamour shot of Bob Seger, like real close on his face. He just has this long, flowing hair. Like, if I had hair like Bob Seger from the 70s, I would have done everything against the wind. That's for the people that really like Bob Seger. Touch that string!
Number 3.
Ooh. I don't know if you guys have any bankers here. Is anybody, not that works, but you guys have a bank account? Anybody ever? There's a popular Midwest bank called Fifth Third Bank. I don't know if you've seen it around. Oh, weird thing. I read in the newspaper recently they've decided to change their name. They're not getting bought out or anything. Apparently people find the name confusing. They've decided to rename it from Fifth Third Bank to 1 2/3 Bank. Finally going to reduce that fraction. Personally, I don't use Fifth Third Bank. I do all my investments at Joseph A. Bank. I have a really good pant portfolio, and I'm pretty sure that scarf I bought is going to pay dividends.
Number 13.
Dude, does anybody here like Bob Seger? He's so fucking cool, man. Like, all right, so I saw Bob Seger at the United Center last December. It was super cool. If you've ever seen, I have some albums in my house. If you ever seen a Bob Seger album, it's just like a close-up glamour shot of Bob Seger. And he's got this mane of hair just flowing out. Like, if I had Bob Seger's hair from the 70s, I would do like everything against the wind. Like, I wouldn't leave my house without looking at a weather vane. You're a little extra on. Touch that screen.
Number 1.
Ooh. Anybody here got a mom? Anybody here have a butt? Ooh, I got a mom. I love my mom. She's great. There's only one thing I would change about her. She's a little bit selfish. Let me give you an example. For the last 15 years, she's had multiple sclerosis and never shared a single one. I know that's like kind of a shitty thing. I've had people come up to me like, "Hey, you're handsome," but that thing that you said about your mom, I know it's kind of shitty. Like, how do you think she feels? And I tell them the truth, tingly on the left. Because that's a sign of a mess.
Touch that screen!
Number 5.
Number 5. Oh, I get to use my phone for this one. Very excited. Anybody here excited about the new Star Wars coming out? Yeah. All right, cool. I'm actually going to end on this, so give it up for Bibble or whatever the fuck his name is. Bibble. You got to get out of there. Go back to Michigan. Give it up for him. All right, cool. I'm very excited about the new Star Wars. One of my favorite characters is kind of a smaller character. It's called Darth Vader. You guys know Darth Vader? All right, this is my example of if Darth Vader had sleep apnea. There we go. I've been Matt Riggs, everybody.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. We'll be back October 31st. Some people call that Halloween. Some people call it October 31st. Some people call it 3110, and then whatever the year is. Those are people not from the United States. Hopefully you're not from the United States. If you are from the United States or you're not from the United States and you want to tell me about it, feel free to hit me up online. My website is themattriggshow.com. My Twitter is @MattRiggs. You can email me at riggs4u@yahoo.com. And of course, please leave comments down below and let me know what you think of this new YouTube podcast. I appreciate you. I think you're really nice. And if I don't see you, please do me a favor and enjoy the rest of your life.